Hello guys, welcome back. This is part 2 and we're going to be making the body and the bottom. And I tried to fit this into 2 videos, but this video would have been 60 minutes long. Okay, now to start with the top facing towards you, you're going to make a slip knot and you're going to flip it around so that way you're going in the same direction of the stitches and you're going to insert into the last stitch. And then you're just going to tighten the slip knot around your hook and chain 2, and this is going to take place as 1 double crochet, and then we're going to put 1 more into that same spot, so this spot will have 2 double crochets in it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 4 and skip 4 spaces and insert our hook into the 5th space, and we're just going to do a slip knot. Now we're going to chain 4 and skip 4 more spaces, and this time instead of doing a slip knot in the 5th place, we're going to be doing a shell, which is 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 more double crochet. And we're going to be repeating this pattern down the whole entire first row. Now right here, I was so interested into watching this show. I done did the wrong thing. I did a show when I was supposed to do a slip knot, but you'll see me catch myself, take it loose, and do it the right way. I mean, sometimes it happens when you do the wrong thing. So if it ever happens, don't feel bad because it happens to everybody. Now we're hitting the end of the row, and unlike the beginning where we did 2 double crochets in the same space, at the end what we're going to do is after our last chain 4, we're going to be doing 2 separate double crochets right next to each other. So like be aware of the amount of stitches you're using, because it could really make or break how it ends up, and you'll have to start all over. Work, flip it, chain 2, and place a double crochet in between the 2 double crochets I did before. Now this account is 2 double crochets, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 8, and then I'm going to do a shell into the other shell underneath it, which is 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 more double crochets, and then after I finish the shell, I'm going to go ahead and chain 8 and then do another shell. So as you can see, this row right here is pretty simple, and we're going to be alternating between both of these rows until we get it to the length that we need. Now that we've gotten to the end of the row, we're going to do what we did on the other side, which is place the 2 double crochets in between the other double crochets. And after you do these 2 double crochets, what you want to do is chain 2 and flip your work, and we're just going to place 1 more double crochet in between those double crochets right there. So now we're going to go ahead and chain 4, and just mark the halfway spot between the chain 8 and do a slip knot to hold it into place. And then we're going to chain 4 more, and we're going to do a shell inside the shell that's underneath it. And after that, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and chain 4, and we're going to slip knot the chain 4 onto the chain 8. And we're basically going to be repeating the same pattern down this whole entire row. And right here, I'm just showing you guys what it looks like now. And I'm going to finish the rest off camera. And here I'm just taking my measuring tape and placing it against it so I can see the length. But what you want to do is you want to stretch the piece with the measuring tape, because after you put the scraps and everything on it, it's going to stretch to the length you need it to. Now this is how it looks, and I'm just going to stretch it with the measuring tape so you can see what I was talking about before. Now I'm going to make a slip knot and insert my hook inside, tighten it, and I'm going to chain 7. This part is entirely up to you depending on how much coverage you want. And for this one, I'm doing basically full coverage in the front, medium in the back. So after you chain the 7, you're going to skip the first 2 and going into the third chain away from the hook and do a double crochet. And we're going to be doing double crochets all down this row. Now once we hit the end of the row, we're going to just chain 2, flip it, and we're skipping the first one and going into the second double crochet, because right now we just want it to stay the same size and we're not increasing it. This is to give the bottom height. I did a total of 3 rows before I started increasing. So now after this last double crochet, what I'm going to do is chain 2 and flip my work. And instead of skipping the first double crochet as normal, I'm just going to go ahead and do a double crochet in the first double crochet. In your last double crochet, you're going to put 2 double crochets inside of it, and then chain 2, flip it, do a double crochet in the first double crochet in the row. Continue double crocheting for the rest of the row until you hit the end where you're going to put 2 double crochets in the last double crochet. Keep increasing, and I'm gonna come back after I did a couple more rows. Your camera being like this in this part, I'm gonna change it. But what I'm gonna do right here is I'm going to chain 4, and then I'm gonna skip the first 2 and do double crochet in the second, not the second, the third and the fourth one. But in the third one, I'm going to do 2 double crochets as normal, and then the fourth one, I'm just going to do 1. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. It's just a slip knot and chain. Okay, here's when I fixed the camera. So halfway through is when I decided to do the slip knot and do the chain so we can do the increase. And we're just increasing like this because you want it to be more full coverage so it can match the bottom a little better. So it's like almost the same as the bottom of the top. And I'm just going to chain 4 here too. And you're going to see me go off the camera for a while because I couldn't find scissors, so I was using a key to cut it. So now, after that, I'm just going to continue double crocheting as normal throughout the row. And in the description box, I'll put how many rows in total it was because I really don't know. When I make bottoms, I just go with the flow. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do our 3 double crochets, but on this side it's always so hard to get the hook into the chain, and you don't want to chain it so loose because it'll come loose. And so when you do this, it's just going to be kind of difficult to get your hook in, but just keep going because it's going to help with the ending outcome. So now I'm going to do the same thing I did, which was chain 4, do 3 double crochets in the chain 4, and then continue as normal, and then attach the yarn to the other side. And we're going to repeat this for about 3 to 4 rows. Now we've reached the last row of the front, and you should have a total from 13 to 14 rows here. We had did the 3 solid rows, 7 rows increase, and the 3 rows doubled increase. So now we're just going to go ahead and do the back. And what I like to do is I'm going to do a slip knot and insert into the last hook. Not hook, I mean chain. And I like to go from the inside so the outside will look like one solid piece, if that makes any sense. Now I'm just gonna chain 2, and I'm going to increase like right from the beginning. I like to bring the excess yarn over and double crochet over it because it gives you less hanging yarns in the end, so you don't have to do double the work. So we're nearing the last double crochet in the row, and what we're going to do is place 2 double crochets in the last double crochet space of the row. And after we do these 2 double crochets in that one space, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2 and flip our work, and we're going to place a double crochet in that first double crochet of the row. And for the back, we're going to do everything as normal because most people like full coverage in the front and they like to show a little bit of cheeks in the back. So that's how we're going to make this. Okay, now we're nearing the end of the last row I did on camera, and all I'm going to do is for the back, I'm just going to make it 3 to 4 more rows than I did the front, so it's more full coverage because nobody wants their crack to be showing, because when the water gets it wet, it's going to start to hang down. So if you have more coverage at the top, it won't really do that. And this is how it should look after the next video. We're almost there. So get ready because I'm trying to put out both of these videos today. And as always, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what I can do to make these videos better. And give me some suggestions that you guys would like to see next. Thank you.